Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes of Wisdom, a channel dedicated to helping you expand your knowledge and develop a more successful and peaceful mind. Today is part 2 of my podcast with the owner and operator of OMNI AURA Light Therapy. He goes by many names: Saya, Silence, the Tribal Monk, Drum Boodha. He's a very good friend of mine. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, Shahbaz Mansoory. Welcome, Shahbaz.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. So we did a first part that we released last week where we spoke about OMNI AURA Studio and light therapy and all that. And then today we kind of wanted to go into your story leading up to how we got to, OMNI AURA and what brought you to this. So kind of the man behind OMNI AURA, if you will.
Well, we can start is basically how I met you and what was happening before I went to Bombay to pursue musical ventures.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. So you were born.
I was born in Montreal, Canada.
Right.
Many years back, and then I moved out of Montreal, moved to Ottawa, the capital city of Canada, and then somehow ended up coming back and doing a lot of things in Montreal. Because of you, basically. I was playing the drum out here in Ottawa. We had a common friend, Bobby, and he introduced us. I met you in 2002, I think I met you, 2001 or 2002. 18, 19 years it's been. And what a strong relationship we've had because I've learned so much from you. And you are one of the main reasons for the story that developed in my life. Everything that happened in India, all the experiences that I had, triggered off from everything that we manifested in Montreal together. And when I met you for the first time, you guys had a whole setup. You had Acid Pro running, Sony Acid Pro, and I saw that for the first time, and I was like, I didn't understand basically what was going on. You guys were creating music. And then through you, I got to frequent so many studios in Montreal. If people don't know, Montreal is a city of studios. There's all types of music being recorded there, all types of genres of music being recorded there. With you, we recorded in numbers of studios: Piccolo, Planet, Victor Studios, Bob Studio in Villeneuve, Summit Studio, and then a lot of pre-production all over the city. Bad News is a studio in Oldport. We created an album. We shot a video. And we manifested how and what it was going to be like once I got there. A lot of things that we had thought of didn't happen, and a lot of things that I never expected happened. And I'll tell you honestly that it was a life-changing journey for me. So basically what we did was we recorded tracks together, had that video, and I took off to India. I started seeing production and the timeline a lot clearly. It helped me, that process that you went through with that track. I mean, going number one for 23 weeks. It was number one.
Oh no, it was 26 weeks in Billboard. But we debuted in.
I think but I remember it was Greece or Turkey where it was number one for 23 consecutive weeks.
Right, that's right. That's right. And world charts. Yeah.
Peter Robert picked up that track, and then a whole bunch of worldwide DJs remixed it. So seeing all that, what was happening with you, it was kind of like a precursor with the energy that I was going to feel for myself, because I could see you go through it. You had just come back from Miami, and you were talking about all these amazing things that had happened. My first percussions were dholaks and tablas, and then I kind of progressed into kit drumming and this and that. But it was always hand percussions that kind of rolled. And then the djembe came into my life, and when the djembe came in, that was the one instrument that I felt I could infuse with modern day house music or dance music. And that idea started developing when I met you.
One of the projects that was closest to my heart, writing and, together and writing this kind of Indian style of music, which was really, really cool. And I remember, we produced a bunch of songs together, but then we decided that we picked our three favorite, and then we made a video with one of them. There was John Dichter who filmed a video. Endorphin Films.
That was a crazy experience too. I mean, that was the first time I had ever shot a video.
And he did a fantastic job, and that was, and then basically you got on a plane and went to India for like 10 years or something, right? Like,
Yeah,
I did have the pleasure of going to India to meet you and that was just amazing.
that was a great time.
Yeah, that was really awesome. So you want to tell me about you're in Montreal. Sorry, you're actually in Ottawa at the time. You're in Montreal. You went back to Ottawa, packed up your stuff, had this demo disc, had the video, got on a plane, and went to India. You want to start there? And
yeah, exactly. So there was a common friend here in Canada that knew an individual down there called Ish Bector, and he had been there for a few years. He was originally from Winnipeg, so he was a Canadian guy that was out there doing the same thing that I was about to go and do. Because he had already been there, what he had done was he had gone into this acting school and stuff. So he had made a lot of relationships right deep into the industry. I land there and we get a place together. And what he does is he's going to an event because it was a land of events. That's where you go to make relationships, build your professional connections. And he goes, there's two of my friends that are getting engaged, and there's a party there, and I'm gonna get you to perform there. Are you willing to do that? And this is like the third day that I'm in India right now, and I'm like, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking to play. He explained to me who was all gonna be there and what was gonna happen. And he was naming off names to me. Now it's like me sitting here and you saying to me, we're going to go to a party and there's going to be Keanu Reeves and Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and you'll see Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and all this, and I'm sitting there. The translation of basically who's going to be there in Indian film royalty, actually you can call it, or celebrities, So we get to the venue, and it's a media event outside. First, there's like the club's inside, and outside there's this whole garden area. And because the media is there, there's a photo op session and this and that. And there's flashlights going on. There's people coming, the celebrities coming in and out, and there's a lot of activity happening there. I have my drum. I kind of slither my way into the club. Ish had released a track at that time, and he was already known to the media, and he was working with certain people. So he got caught up in the media frenzy because people were like, Ish, Ish, Ish. I waited for Ish to come in, and he took me straight to the DJ booth. I sit down, they plug me in, put the mic in, and I start to play. And I'm looking around here, and now I'm seeing all these people while I'm playing.
Yeah, do you want to name some of those, actually, because we do have a lot of Indian listeners. Do you want to?
Well, the biggest, as soon as I walked in, it was, okay, so it was Adam Bedi and Nisha Harale's engagement. So Nisha Harale was the Miss Mumbai of 1996. She, she was one of the first. She got crowned by Salman Khan, and Salman Khan is considered like the Sylvester Stallone of India. He's enormous, one of the biggest actors out there. She got crowned by him. She was coming from humble beginnings too, got into the industry, and she was getting married to Adam Bedi, who is the son of Kabir Bedi. Now, Kabir Bedi is this international star. I mean, there's Indian stars, and then there's stars that are international. He was known first and foremost in Italy as there's a TV serial called Sandokan. They had kind of made an offspin of it in America called Shogun, prior to the Caribbean type of thing. It was a TV serial, and it was like the number one thing in Italy. Then he did a lot of stuff in America. He did the James Bond movie. I think it was Octopussy. He plays a villain in that. And then he did Bold and the Beautiful for a lot of years. Like, he was right across with Hunter Tylo, and he plays this Arabian prince. When he said Adam Bedi, I was expecting to see his father. I did not know who Adam Bedi was because Adam wasn't profiled that much. Social media wasn't really happening at that time. So I knew these celebrities through VHS and movies throughout the years, watching them at home. Adam was fairly new into the industry. He was modeling. He didn't really do a movie at that time. So I didn't know what Adam looked like. But I had grown up watching Kabir Bedi. So I walk in and I see Kabir Bedi standing right there giving an interview. A rush comes over me. I got this starstruck type of feeling. And right behind him is Shekhar Kapur. Now, Shekhar Kapur is the guy who made the movie Elizabeth and won an Oscar for that. Was a big-time director in India also. And because he had come to, see, at that time, because of social media, again, you wouldn't see the faces of directors. You just see their names. A lot of people wouldn't know what they look like. But because Shekhar Kapur had done Elizabeth, he got profiled in magazines and stuff like this, and I knew what he looked like. So when I saw there and I saw his face, I was like, oh my God, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that must have been like overwhelming. You have like starstruck from like 10 different directions, right?
yeah. And I'm looking around, and then there's like a whole bunch of people that I'm seeing there that I'm recognizing, right? So as I start playing, the media subdues, everyone starts coming in, the party starts taking off. Okay, now that the responsibility of the media and everything's done, everyone starts getting a little loose. The drink starts coming in, the attention starts coming towards the DJ, and me playing the drum. Now, this was a very new sound that was happening in India because there was at that time there was an introduction of remixes happening. So what they were doing was for the first time they started infusing Bollywood music with dance music in a very big way, and you would have these house and dance shells that were familiar with Indian vocals on it now, remixed from these movies. And I was playing the drum on top of it, so it was a new sound that everyone was kind of vibing to. And Nisha Harale, being her party and her being engaged, literally took her heels off and came in front of me and started dancing. And she was dancing there for like a whole hour, and she's giving me a lot of love. I've never talked to her, ever seen this individual. I know it's her party and it's the thing, and that's the connection that we made with each other. You know what I mean? And now she was a very strong person in my journey throughout India. Also, you know, a very big contributor to everything that's happened in my life there, and more so, an even deeper connection with Adam I formed. You know, we did a lot of work over the years, but I'll get into that because that'll take me into a completely different thing. So getting back to this party, I'm there, and as you say, like a model gets discovered. I kind of got discovered in a certain regard, where I was in the right place at the right time with the right clique of people that were in the industry, like the main people that are movers and shakers, owners of clubs and stuff, were there, and I got a booking immediately, right there that night, based on what people were responding to, right? And I got into a place called Squeeze. I played there, and that's where I bumped into Himesh Reshamya.
Yeah, but just before you go into that story with Himesh Reshamya, how long did you play? How long were you there at that party with Nisha and Adam?
I would say I played for a good 4-5 hours, I think.
That's what's so crazy. That's why I love it. So I wanted to just tell the listeners that, like, I've seen you.
My hands bled.
Yes, I've seen you tape up your hands. I've seen your hands bleeding, and you're sitting down to play another hour where your drum is covered in blood.
Blood. Yes, I have pictures of that. That's what was causing a lot of reaction to a lot of people too, actually, because what was happening was I was on no drugs. I had not taken a drop of a drink. I had a bottle of water kind of like with me there because I was not looking to party, to tell you the truth. I was just very focused on performing. And what happened was, as soon as the music started and I started playing, people started hearing it, what was happening, and they started looking. And as soon as they started looking, I started catching attention and eyes of people that I already knew, but now they're looking at me, trying to understand, okay, what's happening? Who's this guy? What's happening? And that was it was powerful for me. As I was playing, the adrenaline builds up, and at that time, I had no tape. I had not brought tape with me. My hands started bleeding, man. And my whole drum was red. I was in complete euphoria. I could not feel anything because the music, Nisha was dancing there, and there was all this energy being poured on us. And that at that moment, I'm numb to the pain because I'm feeling something it's undescribable. I think every performer yearns for that. Like, it's called the flow state. I know you're familiar with that. I'll just briefly say it's kind of like
that's right. Yeah, you're in.
Actually, you can describe that better. You're the one who actually described it to me.
Yeah. So Stephen Kotler, he wrote 2 books, The Rise of Superman and Stealing Fire, and about flow state, and get into it. And one of the key things of flow state is being, if you want to jump into it quickly, is actually doing something very dangerous or with a lot of adrenaline. Right, and
a lot of adrenaline. Dangerous because, see, when you're talking about dangerous, what it does is it spikes the adrenaline.
Yes, that's what it is. But you got that adrenaline from those people looking at you, from those superstars, from this environment, from you playing the drum. You've been there in India for only 3 days, and you're playing in front of the biggest stars ever, and they're focusing at you, and they're not just focusing, but they're just saying their energy. And I can imagine an average crowd energy. I've played in front of some pretty big crowds, and the energy of a combined crowd is it fills you with this power. But I can only imagine like these celebrities, individual power, but multiplied, all focused at you. My God, you know.
It was the first time that was happening, because you saw what happened before I got to India. I was playing all over Montreal. You know, I mean, I don't think there was a house or a dance club in Montreal that I did not play at that time. For like 2 years, I was there with you. I mean, I moved into Montreal and we were downtown. Consecutively, we were like immersed into that scene.
Yeah, and to quickly throw out a quick shout out to Jung Park and to Chris, right?
Who absolutely.
Who were like an integral part of like all this scene, and Pavin. Also, Pavin was an integral part. It was amazing.
Pavin Magan was that whole experience with him, because he was running 3 clubs: Blue, Mojitos, and my favorite, Buddha Bar.
I derailed you. You're talking about after the party, you get booked.
Right.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's continue that.
So I get booked to Squeeze, and that's where I meet Himesh Reshammiya. So Himesh Reshammiya is one of those music directors that saw success that everyone kind of yearns for. It was the Beatlemania success, and I just landed there, and he had dropped a song called Ashik Banaya, which gave him the Vocalist of the Year award. And it was the first time where you were seeing, in a long time, you were seeing a music director becoming a musical artist. And he featured himself in the music video of the movie. It was a song for the movie, but what he did was that song was presented as he was singing it. He was not in the movie, but that was an independent music video showing him. So he became this celebrity off of that song. Then there was a song called Jalak Diklaja, which was featured in a movie which he had made, and that song it became the Gangnam Style of India at that time. As that song dropped, you could not escape Himesh. From the street, from the rickshaws, all the way up to the most elitist parties, you were hearing his songs. Everybody was playing his song. As he was in the process of becoming big, he was making music videos, and he asked me to be a part of one of his music videos because he saw me playing the drum, and he wanted to put that into the video because it was something new that he had seen. So he books me for this video. I get a call to go to Film City at the helicopter launching pad outside. So there's Film City. It's built. It's on acres, and there's like hills and mountains, and it's a very vast studio. So we're going through all these hills and stuff. We get up to this helicopter pad thing, and that's where as soon as I get up there, I just see the whole set up. It's about 7:00 in the morning right now, and I'm seeing like everything is set up, like these trussels, and there's cameras coming in, there's buses coming out, and the main lead female was being launched in this film, and she was getting her makeup done. And I went there, I got introduced. This time the world didn't know her, didn't really know who she was, and she turned out to be Deepak, who is the #1 leading actress right now in India. You guys probably here in America or North America probably have seen her. If you've seen any of the Fast and Furious, she was in Fast and Furious 7, the Indian girl with Vin Diesel. During that shoot, and then a couple of events after, we hung out. Wasn't any deep or anything like that, but I got to experience her rise because after that video release, the song was extremely popular, and overnight that song again became very big because it was kind of like everyone was waiting on their seat's edge to see the next Himesh video and the new song because he was just super popular. Everyone was just waiting for it.
Okay, so Shahbaz, you toured, all over, not only just all over India, but Europe. You've played in so many places, Middle East, all that stuff. So you want to kind of tell the listener a little bit about that.
So when I got to India, and obviously the populations there were much bigger, and I got an opportunity to start playing with Himesh after I did the videos as he toured India. So we did New Delhi, Pune, Bombay, Hyderabad. So we did the cities. Now I didn't know what I was in for. So after we shot the videos, he brought me in and he goes, I'm going on this India tour, and I want you to come with me. I'm like, okay, cool. And I said to him, because he had a whole orchestra that would practice every day. they had this show set up. There was dancers, there was fireworks. It was a big production. Like on the stage, there's a good 25 people, and then there's Himesh, right? And like so there's dancers, you got the orchestra, and you got Himesh in the front. They were practicing every day, and I asked Himesh, I go, listen, I can play over the tracks that you're playing. I don't need to know what's happening, but you have a set orchestra, and I don't want to kind of clash in what's happening, right? So he goes, I'm gonna have your mic at a certain thing. There's gonna be a sound guy there, and he's gonna bring in and out your thing. You continue playing the way it is, but I'm gonna have you up there with me. And I didn't completely understand what he meant by that. So as soon as we get up on stage, the whole orchestra is in the back, and then there's dancers in the middle, and he comes up, and my chair is basically parallel with where he is standing on the stage, and in front of me, there's 30,000 people. And when I mean 30,000, they're roaring, waiting for him to come out. So because everyone, all the musicians and everyone gets on stage, and we set up, and we're ready for him to come out. And there's this buzz happening. I'm sitting there, and there's a good half an hour that's gone by now because he's still in the back getting everything ready. They're delaying. Nothing ever starts on time. They always want to build that noise that's happening, that anticipation that's happening. And I'm sitting there with 30,000 people's energy for the first time on this type of venue, in this type of stage. Am I on stage? I've been to concerts and been on the other side, on the receiving end of the performance. But this time I'm sitting there and I'm looking out onto everybody. He gets up on stage and comes out, and all of a sudden, as he comes out, the crowd's pitch goes even higher. And now I've got goosebumps going on here. Now I'm looking back. There's lights happening. It's outside. Beautiful weather. He comes out. Fireworks go off. So he goes out. Crowd goes off, and he starts to sing. As he starts to sing, goes on. I start playing. I see dolly cranes of cameras crossing us. Like cranes, and they're all mechanically being moved around. There's a full production happening, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, "This is incredible. This is a dream come true." I did that 5 times with him. Throw it in.
No, I couldn't imagine. I mean, what the feeling when, especially waiting for Himesh to come out on stage, to be sitting there. Basically, you're in because you said you're parallel to him. So basically, it's like it's you, and everybody's looking at you, waiting for Himesh.
Yeah. When we get off stage, when we would get, because what would happen was there would be dancers coming in and out. The lights would be going crazy, and because the public was far away, maybe you're not really getting to see their face like that because they're dancing and there's stuff happening. But I was idle, and I'm playing like this, and you can see me. I'm not really moving around that much. So there's people, like anybody who was there watching me for an hour and a half play, that's familiarized themselves with me. They're because they're so enamored with what's happening on stage, they're trying to reach out to anybody to look at me. And I'm playing, and I'm part of this whole hype happening. So they're feeling the energy. They're like, okay, this guy is enjoying himself so much that how lucky is he? And that resonates with people, and because it's resonating with me. I go up and I see people on stage, and I'm like, wow, man, I wish I could be I wish I could feel that. What's happening, how he's seeing that. And for the first time, I was seeing it on a very large scale, on a grand scale. And yes, it's exactly what you said. It was him and it was me. And then everything was behind us. And this was for all 5 shows. It was an experience that I only had hoped and dreamed of coming true, And it was a great, great experience because after that, because I was there with him and he would perform, and because I was there, he would tap into me. He would walk around. He'd do this. So we would have this unspoken interaction. And because of that, the relationship was built that after the show was over and everyone dissipated, there was just that inner group of 5 or 6 people with Himesh. And I was one of them. Like after the fact, in the hotel room, we've got all our rooms, and there's only a few people that are being invited into his room. And I was fortunate enough to be one of those people to see the inner working of what happened after, and how they respond, and what the next show is going to be like, and all the conversations that are happening. So they're all brand new learning experiences, because I'm seeing the industry and these professionals that are, because this is a multi-million-dollar operation that was happening. You have to understand this. He was the most popular entity at that time that was touring in India. The performance in Delhi, it was in Indira Gandhi Sports Stadium. So it was an indoor stadium. So I remember that in the back, there's like the changing room. So they made that the big green room. And then the auditorium was inside. So they had put up these fences, these mesh fences to make a pathway so it would shield the audience for us to get to the stage. Feeling that as soon as we got on the stage, that indoor experience was something else also. That was about 20,000, 25,000 people.
That's
wow. It was like
unbelievable.
Yeah, incredible. Like a full stadium.
Like you can have a DJ and he's playing and it's great. And the minute you come on and start playing the hand drum, the excitement level, the dancing, the vibe goes through the roof. And there's the best DJ playing the best tracks with the best flow would be enhanced by you playing live drums over it. That's what's so cool.
What was happening was these songs in Bollywood are used as marketing tools to promote the movie before it releases. So they become super popular and they push them. So people that are coming into the club have heard the song maybe 5 times already during the day. You know what I mean? So now what's happening is the songs were familiar. They were coming in. And I was playing on top of these songs, which they didn't get to hear unless they were there live. So
why don't you tell us about some of those other amazing large events that you did and some of the other celebrities that you met?
So as soon as these 5 events happened, in middle of that, when I started doing this 30,000 people event, the universe started giving me even more opportunities that were, I would have to say, mind-blowing, just, dreamlike. So while this was happening, I got booked for John Cena. And at this time, John Cena was the WWE champion. WWE was very big in India at that time. There was a craze for John Cena. TV had expanded, channels had expanded into India. Internet was just like on the verge of becoming very big and blowing up. So all this promotional international stuff was happening in India. And John Cena was coming to India to promote his rap album, being a WWE star. And his thing was to be, we got booked at a mall called Crossroads. So they emptied the mall out. We came from the back. And as soon as I got up on stage, I looked, and it is packed, brother. Like, people on people. And it is pandemonium again. And there's an elevator that comes, it's like a glass elevator. It's kind of like that Michelle Pfeiffer scene from Scarface. You know, with her entry, it's identical to that. So I'm on stage. I've never seen John Cena either in my life. I'm getting excited myself because I want to see John Cena. I know who John Cena is, right? So he comes down in this glass thing, and as soon as he's come down, he's got his belt up like this, and the crowd just erupts. Right? I would say there's a good.
He brought his belt, yeah.
Well, yeah, he had to, right? Because he was the champion. It was WWE.
Like I know, but he was promoting his rap.
You have to understand, he was in full. He had his shirt off and everything.
Okay, because I didn't know where the line. Because he said he was promoting his rap album, so I didn't know.
As John Cena, the WWE champion.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
As WWE, he came in character as WWE. Like when he's a rapper, he's John Cena, the rapper. He's not taking on an avatar or anything like that. You know, he's not really changing or becoming like. So he was. It was a WWE event. This was sponsored by 10 Sports. It was a sports. It was a sports channel that had brought him in. No other company was really doing it because he was a sports celebrity, right? So it was the sports fraternity that had brought these people in. They were there to see John Cena, and the rap album was basically him performing a couple of songs and promoting the rap album for sales. But what it was promoting WWE and John Cena, the WWE champion. So he's coming down. He's got the thing up, and the whole thing erupts. He gets up on stage and starts rapping. And starts going on. And at the same time, I'm there and I'm playing the drum on the rap on top of that. Previously to him coming in, we had dance music and stuff to keep the crowd at bay. So there was a lot of performances going on at that time. Then after the event, got to chill with him very briefly because there's just too many people around him at that time. And he was on the move. Got to spend, 15, 20 minutes in the vicinity of what was going on. He greeted everyone. It was like, hey, what's going on? A little, bump, and then he started looking at someone else, and I was at a place for him after that. But for me, being there, experiencing that was something else. In conjunction with everything that was happening, the tours happening, I got this happening. What happening was you started making relationships and friends at that time. We got into invited to hang with Mobb Deep through MTV. Mobb Deep came down to promote their Blood Money album, which was signed by, at that time, G Unit. 50 Cent had just exploded. And the first thing that he had done after becoming 50 Cent, the big guy, was he re-signed Mobb Deep to this album. And Mobb Deep came to India for some reason. I have no idea why Mobb Deep was in India promoting this album, because at that time there was rap happening, but there was no real rap culture. They come to Bombay, and basically we were with the MTV crew, and the whole exercise was to meet them. We were going to go and play basketball in a court. They were going to film that. Then we were going to go eat with them in a restaurant, and then we were going to go to the studio and watch them record.
Yeah, and this is like you're like the liaison like to this. You're the host. Like
what happened was because of the way that I was from Canada, I had a certain swagger about me. Because of the connections that we had and the people that we were with, they were like, okay, well, it's good to have these types of people in the shot with them, and plus our language, our accent was a rarity. So for them, it was a matter of making them feel comfortable too. There was just a few of us that had that accent. The rest of the whole crew was Indian, mind you. It wasn't like the whole thing, but we were just added there to kind of, And the thing was, is as soon as they came, Prodigy fell sick, so he didn't come out. So it was Havoc and his crew. So he had it was the offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what his name was, but they called him House. So you have the 6'7" black guy, 350 pounds. And this is his security with him. And he is the jolliest, nicest guy. He's got a white t-shirt on, blue jeans, and this big H, diamond H right here. They're all blinging. And obviously it's Mobb Deep. Like, this is some real gangsters. Their music is about killing and murdering people, for crying out loud. These guys are some real bona fide gangsters. But they were super sweet. The experience that we had was surreal. Absolutely surreal. So Prodigy couldn't make it. Havoc was the one that we hung out with. By the time that we did the basketball exercise and then we went to the restaurant, by the time we got to the restaurant, there's a familiarity that had happened. They're calling us, hey, boss, like, now talking to us with our name. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Havoc on the street of Bombay, which blowing my mind, because this would never happen to me in Canada, being born and raised here. I don't think I could ever meet. But because I was in India, and all these crazy vibrations, and the universe was kind of creating all these experiences for me. I literally, it was so surreal standing on the streets of Bombay. I mean, there's palm trees, and then there's beggars, and then there's Mercedeses, and then there's cows, and there's just all this crazy India third world happening. And I'm standing there with Havoc of Mobb Deep.
Yeah. Do you remember what you spoke about, or just like? Normal stuff.
What happened was he was being very inquisitive about India, and then he started asking, "Oh, you guys being Canadian, how do you adjust here and this and that?" And he was really taken aback at looking at everything, because there's a lot of you get culture shock, right? So he was in culture shock himself. It really is an out of body experience when you're in a very foreign place that you don't.
For sure, I went through it. Trust me, I've been through it. I went to India several times. And
the first week that you were there, it was almost like you were there physically present, but it was like when I looked at you, you're in a dream because you're trying to process it. You're looking at it and you're kind of like, you're seeing it, but now your mind's eye is trying to understand what's happening. So you're inside.
When I was very young, it was massive, massive, massive culture shock. I went when I was very young. And then I went again when I was 16 or something. And that was, again, just massive, massive. When I came to see you, I think I was about 30. And I was pretty much prepared for it. So it wasn't like that. It was the shock of being with you and all these like Club Poison and all these celebrities and all these amazing events, and everything was like. You remember
Club Poison, eh?
Yeah, because I remember I remember we were like in the VIP section, and I remember I didn't know, like, being ignorant to the Bollywood scene. I didn't know the people, so I just started talking to different people, and you just kept going, "Do you know who you're talking to? You know who you're talking with?" And I didn't. So like, it was easy for me to talk with people because I wasn't starstruck because I didn't know who they were. So I was like making jokes and talking with people and laughing and stuff like that. And then I remember you saying, "Oh, that lady that you're talking with, it's the song that's playing is her, that was playing in the club."
Yeah. And you were talking to Poonam Dillo. And Poonam Dillo is this yesteryear's actress, kind of like a Goldie Hawn of India. And she's still very gorgeous and beautiful. And the craziest thing is that her movie song Moody was being remixed. It was a very popular remix that they would play in clubs. And you were talking to her, and then just as Cosmos would have it, her song started playing, it was just like crazy, but very beautiful to be a part of. What I was really laughing and getting a kick out was you had no idea who you were talking to. I was vicariously living through you, going, my God, right now he's talking to Poonam Dilla. The song's playing. I mean, how beautiful is kind of it's happening.
No, yeah, it's super trippy, but it was great it was such a great experience for me, and I think it was nice for them too, because I didn't have this like, oh my God, because I didn't know who they were.
It's refreshing for them to talk to people who don't know them.
So I was just talking to them like a normal person having a normal conversation. I didn't ask about anything of her career because I didn't even know who she was,
No,
so just like
and because those celebrities, when they're in their Bombay area, and you saw how the Poison VIP was, it's a pretentious club in a certain way because they know that celebrities come there all the time. Poison was owned by partly owned by Sanjay Dutt and Sohail Khan, who are like Bollywood celebrities. They're very big personalities. So they were the owners of the club. So you had the movie release events and everything. So the way that the VIP was set up, you had the mask down there, and you have to take a few steps, and you have to go around this railing, and then there's this section that was above everybody, and it's all the celebrities. And everybody that comes, the masses come, everyone is looking there because everyone's trying to spot. It's kind of like whale watching almost. So you're kind of, everyone is kind of peeking there, and you're standing there just normal, doing your thing, which is, but that's how it be because everyone there, no one is starstruck with anything because everyone knows everything. It is refreshing for them because to get up on their VIP, they know they're being looked at. They know everyone that's in the masses knows them. So when they're in the vicinity of someone who has nobody who knows them at all, and you're talking to them like a human, it's refreshing for them, especially in that area. I don't recall going to a movie and paying a ticket on a Tuesday night just to go see a movie. Every week we were being because of my association with Disha and Adam and whoever. I would get called. Movies would release there on a Friday. So on a Wednesday or Thursday, they would have celebrity screenings where the media would come in. They would show the movie to the celebrities and get their feedback to promote the movie.
Yeah. Do you remember the one we went to? Right. It was Apocalypto.
We did. You remember that? So you remember when we went in, the movie is the last thing that you're worried about. It's a media event. You're going there to give a soundbite. There's the initial coming in. The media is there. Everyone is interviewing you. You get the movie, and then after the movie, there's a whole media event. And through that, you're getting free food, burgers, everything. You're being treated like royalty.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Because I don't remember the celebrities. I remember it was you, myself, Nisha, and then we were with
Adam was there. I think Pritpal was there with us. Sachin was there with us.
And then there was this video that came on talking about the progression of India. And there was celebrities that were talking about how the growth of India, the development of India and stuff like that. And there was 5 different superstars, and 3 of them we were sitting. We were sitting next to. We're with our group.
Exactly.
That was really mind blowing. Exactly. I want to ask you one last serious question. Is there's a picture with you and Deepak Chopra,
right?
When was that? Do you want to speak just a little bit about that?
Deepak Chopra had come down 2014, I think it was. So he was down there promoting his spirituality company, and India being the spiritual place that it is. Deepak Chopra is a very big and respected entity out there. Great privilege, again, to be part of that event. He was at a hotel, in the back of a hotel where the pool area was. They had a whole spread of food and everything set up, and then there was a little section that was cordoned off inside, a little sitting area, and he gave a presentation to about 50 of us. So it was about 25, 30 celebrities and then the rest of us. He gets up and gives a speech, starts talking about his new venture into spirituality, starts explaining things. Then there's a Q&A that happens, sitting down. And then after that, the cameras shut off. And as soon as that happens, everyone takes a deep breath, and now it's personal. Everything is off. He's basically there socializing. So we got off on our chairs, and I ended up having a nice 10-minute conversation with the man. It was great talking to him. highly intelligent. It was a great experience meeting. Definitely.
Nice, bro. Nice. So listen, I think what we'll do is we'll end it here, and this is the second part, and we'll have a third part some point in the near future where we'll discuss more, I guess, more about spirituality and more about that kind of angle of
absolutely, because all of these experiences that we just talked about, that I shared with you, has led me to this point. 15 years ago when we were really right into it and I was going for India, what our objective was. But we were naive.
Right.
I would have to say we were naive because the truth out there is something else. What I was seeking is not what I needed to sustain a good life.
Sure.
And the Spirit has shown me, given me all these beautiful once in a lifetime experiences that people probably don't even get to experience in their whole life. I was bombarded with these experiences, and I get to know now what the meaning behind every experience was. You know what I mean? And it really is to humble yourself, be very grateful for everything that you have, because even in all that greatness, at the end of the day, what I would see was these people, and every people have their own suffering. So money, fame, love, admiration doesn't mean that you're not alone. A lot of these people are lonely, even though they've got millions following them, and the spotlight is on them. So those are certain things that we will get into later. And talk about that and how that shaped my spirituality and our spirituality collectively.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I guess that's well said. And because you and I speak of that is how deeply blessed we both are in similar ways and different ways, and having these fantastic experiences in our life, but then being kind of supremely blessed to be shielded from something that people think is the goal, but actually leads to much suffering, unfortunately, much suffering.
Anger. People are like, oh, if I had all this, I'd be happy. Meaning that I won't be happy. If you look at people who don't have anything, they show frustration and anger. At that level, with everything, beyond having everything, there's still frustration and anger.
Sure. No, for sure. So, yeah, it's well said. So, okay, cool, bro. So listen, I will wish you I'll do my classic sign off and wish you a successful and peaceful mind. And always a pleasure speaking with you.
Successful,
amazing
peaceful mind.
Yeah, that's it, buddy. That's it. What else can I say?
Love it.
Nothing wrong with that. Awesome, buddy. So listen, have yourself a wonderful day. We'll talk super soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.